Thanks very much for joining us in the trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics. As always, coming to you from our beautiful new studios. And we have an unbelievable guest. He's been on many times before. Jimmy Burrow, father of the great Joe Burrow, also son of the great Dot Burrow, who was inducted into the National High School Hall of Fame. Back in 1949, 1950, when she was playing high school basketball, she had an 82-point game. She averaged 50 points a game that season. Well-deserved honor. The Burrow family. Man, what a bunch of athletes. We talked to Jimmy Burrow about his family. We talked to Jimmy Burrow about Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. We talked to Jimmy Burrow about everything that you want to know. So, good thing you tuned in. Really appreciate you taking time to join us in the trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics. As always, we're coming to you from our outstanding studios in our brand new building. And we've got a guest that we've had many times and people really, really respond to and appreciate. And that's none other than the great Jimmy Burrow. What's going on, sir?
Well, thank you for having me. It's always fun. And just got a pretty easy day here. So we were looking forward to me being on here today. So it's all good.
That's great. You know, Jimmy, you're an accomplished athlete yourself. I mean, you drafted by the Green Bay Packers, play in the National Football League, but you make a big name for yourself in the Canadian Football League, where you're a Grey Cup champion, two-time CFL East All-Star. In college, you're an all Big 8 player at Nebraska. I mean, you've got some skins on the wall. You're an athlete. But I guess pretty good gene pool. I mean, your dad was a point guard at Mississippi State, right?
That is correct.
Your mom, I mean, a couple of weeks ago, your mom goes into the high school athletes, National High School Hall of Fame class of 2024. Unbelievable. She goes in with guys like Joe Mauer in the Baseball Hall of Fame, Takeo Spikes. We know all about him here in Cincinnati. Tyrone Wheatley. I mean, your mother, you guys, it was a special honor. You guys had a special trip out there, and your mom's 92 years old and gets inducted. Man, that's unbelievable. Tell us about your mom and about that week.
Well, it started about over a year ago when Rick Cleveland, a great writer from Mississippi, had come to Amory. We had been interviewed before, but we had the tornado and he came to check out the damage and interviewed me. And we started talking about my mom and he really didn't know about it. And I said, yeah, she scored 82 points one game, averaged over 50, won a state championship as a freshman. And he said, well, you know, do you have any basically proof of that? And I said, yeah, we got a whole scrapbook of her whole senior year. So wow. He said, you know, she really should be considered for at least the National High School Hall of Fame. And he started the ball rolling. The Mississippi High School Athletic Association jumped on board, and they nominated my mom, and she was selected. So certainly one of the highlights of our family and sports wise. And we've had a lot, but that's now at the top of the list. Joe got to go, and pretty much my whole family was there. And to be able to get my mom and dad there was a challenge, but it was great. And then to meet those people you mentioned, you know, was awesome for me. And Joe Mauer was Joe Burrow's favorite baseball player when we lived in Fargo, North Dakota. So nice. He loved meeting him, and Takeo was a Bengal. So, you know, they had some conversations, but it was all really centered around my mom. She was the only one that got a full standing ovation. So it was pretty incredible, and something we'll cherish for the rest of our lives.
82 points in a game, average almost 50 a year. And this is 1949, 1950 season. I mean, this is back away. That's unbelievable. And really, I mean,
Yeah.
her career ended at high school, right? There wasn't really college sports for women at that point in
No.
time. And a player like that, she ends up, marrying your dad and having a family, but just unbelievable. And what an athletic
Yeah.
family as well. And both your parents are in their 90s and they're able to make that trip. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, my dad can still play golf.
Wow.
I finally beat him about 2 years ago, so it took me till he was, I think, 90 till I finally beat him. And then not too long ago, we went back out. He doesn't play as much anymore. He doesn't like leaving my mom at home, and he shot 91. He hadn't played for like 6 months, so
Unreal.
and he was beating me going into the back nine. So I was worried that I was going to start losing to him again. But we got a competitive family, and whether it's a board game or a card game or shooting horse in the backyard over the years, it's pretty competitive. It's certainly, you can see why Joe's enjoys competition so much. And
Yeah.
but again, we were blessed that we were able to be a part of that, and that they recognize my mom. And you're right, there was no major college or any college basketball for women back then. There was junior college, but I think if you got married, then that was not an option either. So she chose to go where my dad was at the time, playing basketball for Mississippi State, and pretty much took a job there in Starkville, and supporting my dad.
She probably could have played, for Mississippi State or South, or
Yeah.
could have given a good look for the opponent. You know how you have hey, here's the offensive sets we're going to be seeing. I bet she could have given him a pretty good look.
It was the old 3-on-3. Most people aren't familiar with that, but you had 6 on one side of the court and 6 on the other. So she was an offensive. She was great on the offensive end. And
Right.
my dad took most of the team one night near Starkville to watch her play, and she got 82 that night. That was and they kidded my dad from then on. He just to try to get a tenth of that as the point guard every night, and they would be happy with that. But
Right.
It's great. All of us, my brother, sister, we started being shown that scrapbook at a very early age, and then my boys and other grandchildren of my parents knew all about that from a long time ago. So we knew that we were fortunate that we came from a pretty athletic family. So it was good.
It is incredible. I mean, your sister was a great athlete. Your brother was a college athlete. Your sons, Joe, obviously, your twins, both college athletes. I mean, it's amazing how athletic your family is, how high a level of achievement that the Burrow family has enjoyed throughout the entire family. It's amazing.
Yeah, we've had a lot of sporting events, basketball, football, baseball, and some track over the years. So who knows how many games my parents went to before they basically aren't able to do that anymore. And Robin going to games, but we've been fortunate that we've had a lot of success. It's funny to ask my mom one of the biggest memories back then, and instead of talking about the 82 points and the 70 something she scored several times, she talked about a loss that she had her senior year, leading into the state playoffs. And typical, if you ask Joe or any of us, those are the ones we seem to remember. But that's just the way you do it. And but she had a lot of great moments. The state championship, as I said, at actually another school as a 9th grader, and then transferred to Smithville. But we've had a lot of highs in sports and a lot of tough losses. But we've been fortunate to be able to be involved in a lot of big games.
The other thing that you got into was coaching, and obviously coached at an extremely high level. You were defensive coordinator, assistant head coach, defensive coordinator in 2009. You were the Mid-American Conference Defensive Coordinator of the Year. Highly accomplished in that area too. Did anybody else in your family tree get into the coaching side of it, or are you the only one that took on that role?
Yeah, pretty much me. My dad was, as I was growing up, he was a basketball coach, men's and women's. And then before I got into high school, he became a school administrator, principal, and then an assistant superintendent for a long time. No, I mean, I really had set out to maybe be a doctor. Eventually realized probably wasn't smart enough to do that. But I played for he just recently passed away, Monty Kiffin. So I played for him at Nebraska.
Yep.
Was such an influence on really, my life at the time. I said, hey, I want to be like him and be a coach. Of course, there's only one Monty Kiffin. So that kind of led me in the direction of the coaching profession. I've stayed in touch with Coach Kiffin over the years, he was always a mentor. We had him in to visit here at Ohio University. And so, it was a sad day the other day when we learned of that, but that's kind of the reason that I got into coaching.
That's something. Joe, obviously you mentioned was at the event. He had to be real proud of his grandmother for sure, and I know he's proud of his family. There's no question about it. How did he look? How did he seem like he's geared up and ready to go, Jimmy?
Yeah, he was there to support his grandmother, and
Yep.
so he kind of avoided being the center of attention the best he could. And if somebody kind of wanted to picture something, he said, "Hey, why don't you just get one of my grandmothers?" So he understood, why he was there for all of us to enjoy the day of my mom getting inducted. But yeah, we talked a little just about how he felt. It was all positive, and I think I've mentioned before his favorite time of the year or his favorite thing to do, and it's been like that forever, is to practice football. So that's coming up. He's really looking forward to it, as well as us. It's a long time between his last game last year and what will be his first game this coming season. So we're excited. He's excited, and we're looking for a big year from Joe and the Bengals.
As you know, I mean, everybody wants to know everything there is to know about your son, Joe, including his hair. When he grows his hair long, everybody, when he has it styled, everybody's all in the rage about it. Now there are rumors that he's got a little bit of a buzz cut going. What's going on with Joe's hair, Jimmy? What can we expect?
I'm not going to comment on how he looks right now, but he's always willing to pull a surprise here and there, whether it's his hair or what he wears. And
right.
So this year he said he was looking a little to get out of his comfort zone. So I'll leave it at that, because he's definitely done that. Going to Paris and doing some things maybe that he wouldn't have done in the past, and we'll see about that haircut.
Yeah, I mean, Paris and was Milan part of it over in Italy? I mean, or was it all France? Was it?
No, it was all France. He was part of an NFL contingent in South France, and then Vogue had invited him to be a part of the Paris fashion show. Right. And again, he was just looking for things to do a little differently this year. So that was a part of it. He said he really, really enjoyed it, and not sure next year. There's always rumors that the Bengals are going to play somewhere overseas, so I'm sure we're all looking forward to maybe when that happens one of these days too. That'll be special for all of us.
I guess Aaron Rodgers took a trip to Egypt. He could always talk to Aaron about what he thought about Egypt, I guess. I mean, that might have some appeal. I mean,
he likes at least this year more so doing something different. He had such a long off season because when he got hurt, so you're basically rehabbing and training for the following year. with a lot of time. And so I think at times he gets a little bored in the off season because he misses practice and he misses his teammates so much. But pretty soon he'll be back in it and kind of in the what he likes to do.
From a standpoint of actual working, whether it be strength training, strength and conditioning, or throwing routines or whatever, does he like to change those up as well? I mean, does he think, okay, I've done this for 3 years, I'm going to try something new, or does he like to stay with what I really think works for me?
Yeah, I think he changed up a little this year just from talking to him. Don't know the details, but his personal strength coach, Dak Notestein, has been really training Joe since probably 9th grade. He was our strength coach at Ohio University, and I recruited him from Bell Fountain. He walked on, became an all-MAC defensive end.
Wow.
So, he trusts Dak with the things that he wants him to do, but Joe has input. And I think just from the previous injuries, whether it was the calf muscle or, those type things, you kind of look into that. So he's done a lot of extensive research with nutritionists and things like that. So a few things different. And then, he looks forward to working with the Bengals strength staff during the season. He wants to be a part of that and, lift with the team and do those type things. So, they have a routine for him, but he really trusts Dak and also the Bengals strength staff. But the good thing is that, he does like to have input. So, they're all willing to listen to him also.
And I think we talked about this before, Jimmy. I mean, man, the first time I saw him, the first press that he did, after not having any media interaction for a little bit, he was buffed, man. I mean, you could tell he had been eating right and working hard in the strength and conditioning part of it. I mean, man, I said to Joe, man, you look like 10 or 15 pounds of really, really good body mass on you, man. And he was, hey, thanks, I've been working at it. He obviously humble as always. Yeah. He'd worked hard, man. You could tell.
Yeah. Well, he's always had some trouble keeping weight on, especially during the season. If he's not able to lift with an injury here and there, that's lifting is a big part of the way he maintains his weight and his strength, certainly during the season. So, I think he looks great. He's definitely heavier, stronger, and he always says that he could probably go up to 230, but that's just not the way he feels comfortable. In the past, he likes to be able to move, and he's always said that when he gets too heavy, he can tell because it limits his mobility, and he never wants to do that. But I think he's in a good space right now for getting ready for the season.
So what's the secret sauce in raising athletes? I mean, I think everybody that's watching and listening will want to know. I mean, your mother and father obviously did a heck of a job raising you and your siblings in that arena, in that area.
Yeah.
And you've done a heck of a job, with your family. I mean, is it expose them to it? If they love it, let them run. What do you do with it?
I mean, I always say that my mom and dad and Robin's mom and dad, they both were very supportive of all their kids. And we both kind of learned from, the way we were raised. And that's just to be fully supportive, do everything we can to give them access to things that's going to make it fun for them and also make them better. So whether it's camps, and I'll have to give, I need to give Robin credit because a lot of times when I was coaching, I wasn't able to take, Joe to a practice or to a camp or to whether it was basketball, football, or baseball. So she was pretty nonstop in that.
Right.
Same thing, Jamie and Dan, we always made sure that they were able to get to their different things. I'm a big advocate of multi-sports for kids. Yeah, you can eventually choose. Joe dropped baseball after his 8th grade year because it was getting to be a lot. some people thought baseball was his best sport, actually. But playing baseball in Ohio, you just can't do it year round, and that's basically what it takes these days for the most part. So we just always made sure that they had fun. Our family's competitive, so there was always an emphasis on doing the best you can. But as long as they were keeping score, you might as well try to win, right? So probably that failed at that part of it because none of us are very good losers. So we dwell on it too much and look back on those type things. But just being supportive of Joe, not being so overbearing, because as a coach, I'm watching him and I'm realizing that he's really good athlete, but he was willing to listen to me. We watched some film as he grew up, and just wanted it always to be fun to watch film with me, not something that, oh man, I think Thursday night my dad's off, we got to watch film again. And but main thing again, be positive with kids, that your own kids, and make it as fun as possible for it, but also teach them to work hard to be the best that they can in whatever sport they're choosing.
Now in baseball, Joe had to do some pitcher, catcher, center fielder. Yeah. I mean, with that arm, he had to be pretty good in those areas.
Yeah, we had his best friends were twins that could really throw. So Joe was down the line a little in pitching, but he would play multiple positions, whether it was short or third or first, outfield. But he was a hitter. I mean, he could hit home runs. He could really run. So there could have been a future for him, I'm sure, in baseball. But we would have had to really work on getting him year-round baseball, and that's hard in the state of Ohio, and it's also hard if you're playing a lot of different sports, which he was.
Yeah, and he was pretty damn good point guard himself. I mean, there's a lineage of basketball in the Burrow family. He was pretty good himself in the hoops, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was first team All-State, and was a scorer. He played. He could be a point guard. He was probably a little. If he'd have played in college, would have been a little more of an off guard, a shooting guard. 6'4", could really shoot threes, and that certainly gets traced back to my mom and dad with the shooting ability. So, but he loved basketball. Started getting a few ladders as a sophomore, but about that time, we were moving in the direction of him being a football player at that point.
So we've talked about this a little bit, but I think it bears repeating. From a goal setting standpoint, I know Joe's got team goal aspirations big time. How does he incorporate his individual goals into that team goal setting scenario?
Well, I think really any individual goal that he might have, whether he states it publicly or keeps it to himself, it's still all about the team. And what can he do with personal goals to make the team better and to get to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. And I think he's so team oriented that I think his goal this year is just to be healthy and be there the whole season. And in his mind, he's confident enough to know that if he can do that, with the team that surrounds him, then they can win a Super Bowl. So I think that's the main thing is being healthy this year.
We know that he is laser focused. We've talked about that. There's nobody. I don't care. Forget about athletics, just in general. There might be somebody as focused as he is, but there's nobody more focused than he is. I can tell you that. He's amazing.
Well, he's already moved in that direction. He got some of his the different things that he's got obligations to do with some of his marketing. He got that out of the way last week, and we pretty much know now that we'll probably see him this weekend, and then there won't be that much communication between Robin and me and Joe till basically game time. and then we might see him at a practice or something. But you're right. I mean, he really blocks out the noise, so to speak, and to a certain extent that includes family also.
With you guys, you and Robin's assistants, the Burrow family, the Joe Burrow Foundation has done some unbelievable things in a very, very quick fashion. I mean, the golf tournament, I mean, a 2-year wondrous success. The second annual Joe Burrow golf outing was unreal. I know you guys have done multiple events. Give us a little update, Jimmy, on what's going on with the Joe Burrow Foundation.
Yeah, we've had a great response. Joe provides the platform and knows he does have a platform to do a lot of good things with children's mental health and food insecurity. So we're doing a lot of partnership with La Soup there in Cincinnati to maybe put the same type of a thing that they do there in Cincinnati here in Southeast Ohio and also in Baton Rouge. So we took a lot of grant applications last year and continue to do that this year. And once again, we just feel fortunate that we have an opportunity to help, and everybody is willing to help. Support the Joe Burrow Foundation. You can go to joeburrow.org to read about it. The golf tournament was a great success, and we continue to do things to really accomplish our mission in the Joe Burrow Foundation, as I said, to provide resources and finances for food insecurity and to help families with children that have some mental health issues to try to help them pay the bills. So it's all great. We have a lot of good things coming up, and we appreciate everybody's support.
Well, I mean, the Burrow family has been incredibly successful. I mean, great people, obviously, and it's no shock to me or anybody that knows of the Burrow family that you guys are all about giving back. I mean, that's what makes part of what makes you guys so great as a family, and we appreciate everything you guys are doing for multiple communities. And keep up the good work, you and Robin, Jimmy.
Well, we have a lot of good people that are part of it, and they're helping. Amy Floyd is our executive director over there in Cincinnati, and she's awesome. She has a passion for what we're doing, and that's good. We have a lot of good people on the board in Baton Rouge and in Ohio. So everybody pretty much is willing to do anything they can to help us do what we set out to do. And Joe, back at the Heisman speech, seems like a long time ago, but it was really only in 2018 realized that he had a platform that he could use and our family could use to in his words, do good. So we're always trying to do good in a lot of different type opportunities that come up.
Well, congratulations, and it's much appreciated. I can tell you that. Yeah, it's the team. I mean, the latest publications that I've looked at, of course, they're ranking quarterbacks now, and Joe's right there with Patrick Mahomes, 1 and 2. Still the only guy that's got a winning record at quarterback against Patrick Mahomes with that 3-1 record. And then the latest I saw, AFC North champions with a 13-4 record, the best record of anybody in the AFC. So #1 seed going to the playoffs, that all would be great. We'll see.
Well, Joe didn't pay much attention, to that.
Yep.
I mentioned to him, because he talked about the 18-game schedule the other day. I just mentioned to him that, hey, some people have been you've been getting a little negative feedback from people. He had no idea because he just didn't read anything like that. And but so he's not paying any attention to again what people are saying. He's really good at blocking out those type things. But it's always good to, if they're going to pick things, you might as well be picked up there at the top, because then you got a chance and you got a good team, and there's a lot of people that are confident that our team's going to do well. So but Joe would be the first to tell you, we'll see. That's his thing. I'll say, how's so-and-so doing? He'll say, well, we'll see. So we'll see how we're going to do, but I'm confident we're going to have a big year.
Well, he made a lot of sense when he was talking about the 18 games, having the 2 buys and one for the entire league at the middle of the season and do their thing, like the all-star type fun and games type thing. And then everybody else gets another buy. Makes a lot of sense. You have a smart son. There's no doubt about it, Jimmy.
Well, that comes from his mom for sure. So we're proud of him, what he's able to do on and off the field. And we couldn't be happier that he's a part of the Cincinnati Bengals and part of Cincinnati and the whole state of Ohio. So we're locked into truly being an Ohioan at this point.
Well, Jimmy, thanks for your time as always. I know you're busy all the time, and I know you're even going to get busier. So appreciate you carving time for us today, sir. All
right. Thanks for having me. Have a great week, and I'm sure I'll be at a golf tournament here and there that I'll see, and we'll be able to hang out a little.
Sounds great.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Bye.
Dave Lapham here, and every day I am grateful for my experience to have played professional football. As a player, I realize self-motivation, leadership, and appreciating your teammates are key. At First Star Logistics, you can use those same attributes to create the life you want for you and your family. Build your future by working hard like I did. You'll see results both on and off the field. Call First Star Logistics today and be part of our winning team.
Opportunity knocking.